backyard yard. It's cold. It's about 13 degrees this morning. It's supposed to warm up a bunch today though. There's very few clouds in the sky, and it's supposed to warm up into the mid-30s. We've got deliveries. Uncle Benjamin needs to come home, wants to come home, should come home. I'm gonna go rescue him. We got 3 deliveries for sure, maybe some more, I don't know. We're gonna go down the road and we're gonna deliver some wood right now. We're heading down the road for the big delivery. So we're on the road this morning, and a couple things I thought I'd talk about. In the comments, I've been getting people asking questions and making comments, and there's some things that are worth talking about that are things I see very commonly in the comments that I see that people put in there, and I read for sure all my comments and I answer the vast majority of them. I'm not saying I get to everybody, and a lot of people don't realize that in order for me to see your comment, you need to make an original comment on a video. If you make a comment on a comment, I don't see it, because I don't go back to all 1,700 videos of mine and go through and look below the original comment to see new comments. I just don't have time to do that. So just so you guys know how it works, if you want me to answer a question, start by saying, Chris, I have a question, and put in an original comment on a video. And if you do it on a current video, one that's just been released either that day or day before, I'll see it and I'll answer it. There are some people that will contact me or email me, say, how come you never answered my question? Well, it's because I never saw it. So if you ask a question below another comment, I'm probably not going to see it. I mean, sometimes I go back and look through, but not usually. So there's that. Now, another thing that happens is that when people comment on an old video, they ask me sometimes a very specific question about the video in the video. And because I have almost 1,700 videos now between my 2 channels, actually over that, a lot of times I have no clue what they're asking, because that video for me might have been 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I have no clue of what the video was even about. I mean, I might have a general idea, or maybe in the video itself, I covered a topic for a couple minutes and that was the title of it. So when they asked me, that video you did splitting the wood with that birch, how come you did this? It's like, I have no idea a lot of times what they're talking about. So again, try to be specific about your questions. Now, that brings up another thing I got to mention. If you are making a comment on your phone and it's got auto check, auto spell, and words are getting changed, and your sentence makes no sense whatsoever, there's sometimes I have to read the question 4 or 5 times to even come close to figuring out what the heck someone is asking or saying, because it's such broken language with the words that doesn't make sense. So read before you hit send, read it and make sure it makes sense. Maybe it makes sense to you, but it doesn't to me sometimes. There are some dandies out there, I gotta tell you. And usually it's someone that's new to the channel, someone that has never commented before, doesn't really know much about what I do or much about firewood, and they have a legitimate question, but they don't know how to ask it, and then the way they ask it makes no sense. So read your question and make sure that you explain it in detail. And if you're asking a question about something that happened in a video, make sure you give me some details. Because if you just say, yeah, when you were splitting that wood, how come that part did this? You got to be more specific. Say, how come your splitter, had the wedge, you go through it at that point at 1 minute and 37 seconds, because then I can quick reference it too. I can look at the video quick and I can look and see and then answer your question to know what even happened. So it's really hard sometimes. So every once in a while, I'll answer a comment by saying, I am sorry. I have no clue or no idea of what you're asking, because your question or comment makes no sense. Or sometimes I'll just put question marks, like, I have no idea. I have no idea of what to even say about what you said or asked, because it makes no sense. So I don't know, but that's one of those things that
other people have made comments to me that have channels or watch fairly often that know that I try to answer all the comments, and they'll answer for me in a way that I can't answer, which is kind of funny to me, because I don't want to insult someone and say, hey, you're stupid. But there are people that will answer for me in the comments, and they'll answer by saying something like, sorry fella, Chris can't fix stupid. I've seen that a few times. Another thing I should mention about the comments is if you attack me personally, I understand. I'm not perfect, don't claim to be. But if you do it a couple times, you're going to be gone. If you attack someone else on my channel, if you start arguing with someone, calling them names, using foul language, you're gone. I'll either just delete the comment. If it's really bad, I'll delete you from my channel. And all I got to do is hit one button and you can never comment on my channel again. And you will get hits on your account. And if you do that on several different channels, you will be banned from YouTube in general. They're a very tight ship the way they run stuff. So basically, the guidelines for the rules, for the community rules, they're not guidelines, they're rules. And if you break them, YouTube doesn't want you around. You're excommunicado. I become John Wick and I eliminate you. There's that. I have a pencil. Okay, let's go dump some wood. So we just made the dump. You saw I backed into the guy's garage. It was a single stall door, so it was kind of narrow. And the little baby dumper that I have that I use for a lot of the deliveries obviously works fantastic, because a big dump trailer, you'd never be able to do that. And some guys would say, well, just use a big dump trailer and dump it in the driveway. Well, yeah, I could have done that. I could have just dumped it in the driveway, because I could have told the guy, yeah, it's a dump trailer. I have to be able to go all the way up to dump it, so I can't do it in the garage. But I could tell he kind of wanted it in the garage, and by doing that, he told me, he said this was so much better than the other people I bought wood from. He said, first of all, the wood that I got, it's in the garage, that he got a while ago. He said it won't even burn. He said it's so wet and crusty and old and nasty, and it was on the ground, it was mold on. I looked at it, it looked really bad. And he could tell right away by my wood, by the sound of it. He says, this stuff sounds dry. I said, that's because it is. But by backing into the garage like I did, dumping it out a little bit, kicking it out like I did, pulling ahead, dumping a little more, pulling ahead, dumping a little more, I got it lots closer than if I would have dumped it out on his driveway, and he appreciated it. And he said he will be calling me in the future for more wood. And he will tell other people, because in his little neighborhood, he lives there on the lake, they're all pretty close. There are people that the wood that they buy is not for heating, it's for drinking wood, it's for party wood, it's for sitting out on the deck or down by the fire pit by the lake, and they talk. I get a lot of my business from people like that. So by doing a little bit more, it's going to help build the business, it's going to help spread the word, and I will get more customers and more repeat customers, which is what you want. On to the next one. I have returned to the wood yard, and I'm going to put on my next delivery. This is for one face cord, 1/3 of a cord of white oak. Now this white oak that I'm going to be delivering, I just cut and split no more than a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, here in the bin. And the reason I'm going to be delivering this is going to well, he's my neighbor. He only lives a block away from me, and he smokes meat like all the time, like every weekend. He's got 2 different smokers, a commercial bigger one and then a smaller one. He's like really into it. I delivered to him already 2 face cords, 2/3 of a cord of dry white oak that he's using now, but he wants to make sure he does not run out. And he says, hey, can I order wood now that will be good like next summer? I said, sure, I've got some right now that needs to dry through the winter and probably through the spring, and then, you know, next summer, next fall, this stuff will be good to go. And he said, awesome. He said, bring me a face cord. He said, that way I'll be fully stocked and He's got plenty, like I said, to last for quite a while, and he just wants to make sure he doesn't run out because he really likes his white oak. You would call him, I would call him a wood snob, and he's okay with that. So let's chuck it in. There it is, a face cord of wood, a third of a cord and a cat. It is in and is ready to go down the road. Now some would say there's no way you can know how much wood is in there with just chucking it in like that from a loose pile into a trailer loose. And you'd be correct, I don't know how much is in there. I do know that it's more than a face cord or a third of a cord because I know how much my container holds, the vessel, the trailer. One of the guys on the channel made a comment not long ago and it made a lot of sense. He said, you know how when you go to the deli and you say, I'd like a pound of ham or turkey, whatever it is, and the person that's serving you grabs an amount, puts it on the scale, and all of a sudden you look at it and that scale says like 0.97 of a pound or 1.03 of a pound. They do it so much they just know. That's kind of how this is too. I've done this thousands of times. I just know that I've got a face cord or a third of a cord, and then I throw a little extra in because people like extra, and it makes it easy for me. Don't have to worry about stacking it. So there you go, let's go dump. We're back, and we're gonna put one more load on. This is the last one of the day. 2 face cords, 2/3 of a cord, 2 ricks to rank, 2 rows, a third of a cord. No, 2/3 of a cord, that's what I said, yeah. Mixed hardwood, it's going in right now. The load is in, down the road we go.